Hi guys, this video is going to help you through your handout 2.3 Investigating Genes in the Spider Sim. So you should have opened up your Spider Sim. Here's your home page here. We've got our different spiders. Here you're going to be focusing on trying to understand the difference between genotype and phenotype. Remember, genotype are the genes that are actually responsible. We can't see those because they're the DNA. So we use letters to represent that. And phenotype is the trait you can actually see. So you have genes in your body for your hair color. They make a certain protein, and then you see the phenotype, like I have brown hair. So let's see how we figured this one out. Let's look at number one. Let's investigate one trait at a time. Click on body color. Okay, choose Greg and Ruby to mate. Fill out the chart below. Okay, so first we want to look at Greg and Ruby. So we are going to look at Greg. I got Greg here, okay, and Ruby is over here. Just for a quick review, let's take a look at Greg's cells, okay. I'm going to go over to body color at the top here. I can see that they have three possible proteins for body color. I know that Greg is yellow, and if you look here, now we can understand what these letters mean. C2 and C2 are the two genes that Greg has for his body color. And if I look over here on the right where it says chromosomes in the nucleus, I can actually see that he's got these two genes, C2 and C2. These are chromosomes right here. This is where his gene for body color is found. And this gene tells his body to make this type of protein, okay? And I can see here by the shape, it's protein number 2, and it's making this yellow pigment, okay? We can see how changing the gene he has might even change his body color. If I change him to a C1 and a C2, you can see, oh, he just became brown because his body is starting to produce two different types of proteins. But let's go back. That's a quick review. Hey, remember, genotype are those genes, so it's those letters. Sometimes you'll represent them with just like a big T, like a letter, but our sim uses a letter and a number combination. So let's go back to Greg and also reset him because I changed his body color. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at Greg. Okay, I'm at body color. Greg's body color genotype is C2C2. I'm going to record that here. Okay, and I'm going to record his genotype here, and then record his phenotype here, which is yellow. Okay, whoop, wrong slide. So we've got his genes and his phenotype. Now let's take a look at Ruby. Ruby is a C2 and a C3. Those are her genotypes. Okay, and that's what genes she has on her chromosomes in her DNA. So I would record that here. Okay, so go ahead and write on your paper C2, C3. And what color is Ruby? Ruby is also yellow. Go ahead and write that down in your space provided. Now, this is where we get to the fun part. Let's see what kind of offspring they might have. If I take my spiders and drag one over the other, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to create reproductive cells. Now, you can also skip to just doing the offspring, but let's see what this does. It's giving us their reproductive cells. Now we know each living thing has a reproductive cell. We're not going to click that mutate. That's going to be for later. And then we can randomly fertilize to make some possible offspring. Remember, we never know exactly what offspring we're going to get. So you can see here their offspring. They have a possibility of having 2 males, 2 females, and it looks like they're all yellow in body color, but I do see some variations in some other body traits. If I look here, I can see their possible combinations for offspring genotypes are C2, C3, this female's C2, C3, and, oh, I'm sorry, I just misspoke, C2, C2, And then the rest of their offspring are also C2, C2. So they have two possible offspring genotype combinations, C2, C3, and a C2, C2. And remember, that's for color. So you would write that information here after you get to the color. So C2, whoops, C3 is 1, and then C2, C2. And we had said they were all yellow. Okay, now we would want to look at the stripe color. Now, how do I change and look at that? All I do is I can change up here. I'm going to click on this, and now I can see their genes, their genotypes for stripe color. And I can see the offspring that have black stripe color have the same gene. They're T1, T3. And here's our unique female with the T1, T2 genes that allows her to make that purple stripe color. You're going to go through and follow your directions carefully to complete the rest. Do your best. You may not have time to finish this today, but make sure you're not forgetting to answer. Here you're going to reset, select some other spiders and their characteristics, and it says analyzing genotypes and phenotypes. Remember, the words dominant and recessive are referring to which one shows up most. Something that's dominant is going to be seen over others. For instance, brown eyes are generally dominant over blue, meaning you could carry a gene that is not expressed. So do your best to answer. If you get stuck, that's okay. This is a tough subject, and we can review this next week. You're going to keep going, filling out, following your specific directions about your different traits, okay? And then follow your directions here. When you're answering about your vocabulary, just use your notes. If you run out of time, just give it your best shot and you can finish it tomorrow. Great job!